Hi everybody, thanks for tuning into my channel. Today I want to go over with you to build a housing joint. So basically a housing joint is exactly what we've got here in this little cut here, and it basically is a vertical timber that sits in its seated position like so. The reason why we do a housing joint is ideally it's used for building furniture, building shelves, and also when you want to have a bit of when you want to have a bit of structural integrity or strength in a joint. And the other reason I like teaching the housing joint is because it really does well for students' skills. It actually improves their skills and actually helps them advance a little bit further, because they've got to get used to they've got to get used to planning and marking. B, they've got to get used to using the saw, the tenon saw, and C, excuse me, they've got to get used to using a chisel and a mallet. And those combinations make the students really well in terms of skill wise. So what I've done is, as I say, that's my housing joint there. I've gone to the liberty of actually marking this one here. So all I've done is I'm using my tri-square. This part goes hard up against the timber, and I've just marked a line. That's my line at 90 degrees to the timber. That's 90 degrees, and this width here is 35 millimeters, which is the thickness of this timber. So sometimes students do put the timber like so, and they mark a line like so. Look, that's okay. You can do that, but what I like students to get into the habit of is actually physically marking 35 millimeters with a ruler, or in this instance with a tri-square, because it has a ruler. That way it helps them with their mathematical component when it comes to woodwork, and if they choose to move on to building and construction, it will actually help them. It's a great aid for them to do. So I've marked that one as well. What I also like to get students to do is also mark the center line. This is another thing that I like to get students to do. So we're cutting this one, excuse me, and we're cutting the middle. Then what we do, we come at right angles. I've marked it already there, marked it already there, marked it already there, marked it already there. I don't have a gauge with me, but what I do is I use a chisel just to mark that line, and what I do is I put a little incision there, and that way it's a nice straight line, and we end up with a nice straight cut. Same thing here, nice line in there. And that way we end up with a nice straight cut. So now I don't have the vise at the moment. I'm installing my vise, but for the time being, what I've got is I've got a couple of clamps that I will place inside, like so. Naturally, with the vise, it's a lot easier to use. But sometimes students actually will find that even with the vise, they do get a little bit confused with it, and a little bit hard to coordinate. But so I actually get the students to use clamps on certain occasions when they're struggling with their coordination. So, but it works the same way as well, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll go through this. I'll just tighten this one like so. Okay, and that's tied in. Okay, so what we do is, the rule that I use is I say to the students, we're using a wide, this is a 32 mil, I've also got a 25 mil wide chisel, and I've also got a 12 mil wide chisel. I say to the students, when we go up this way, we only go halfway, and then we'll turn the timber around and do the other way. But for the time being, what we do first is let's make this little cut. So what I get students to do is place the tenon square on that line, and just gently make a slight incision. That's the first thing, a slight incision. Then we do the same thing here, and all we do is we go to the bottom of that cut line there, and we follow that line all the way through. Okay, just a slow movement. Okay, and we do the same on this one. Same cut. And we do the same on this one. Okay. There it is. And all we're doing is we're just going to that mark there, which is roughly about 4 millimeters. Okay. Now what we do is we grab our timber mallet, and what I like to do is I like to have the flat part facing up and the beveled part facing down. The only reason I like that is because it gives students a little bit more control. So then I go like so. So, only to the halfway point, which is the line that we put in there. And like so. Okay. So, then what we do is we turn it around. We turn it around. There. That's that one there. Turn that one around. Turn that around there. Like so. And there. Like so. And we put that one in there. And we place this one over here. Once I get the vices in, it'll be a lot easier, but for the moment I've just got the vices. Sorry, for the moment I've got the clamps. Once I should have the vices in the next few days, and that'll help as well. So keep going with the same process. Keep going. So. Okay, that's pretty much what we're looking for. And then what I get students to do is I get students to use the wider one and then come at 90 degrees. So I get them to do this one again. I have the flat part facing up and the beveled part facing down. I find that it gives students a little bit more control with their coordination. Okay, and then we go around this side. So we're always going away from us. One there, one there, one there. Sometimes it might need a little bit more of a cut on that side, and that's okay. That's okay. And sometimes you might just find that, and that's perfectly okay. Perfectly okay. And depending on how tough the timber is, will depend on the amount of work that you do with the chisel. This is 90 by 35, so it's structural timber, so it has a little bit of density to it. It's quite strong timber. If you were doing something softer, like a pine, untreated, or sorry, a non-structural pine, you'd find it'd be a lot easier. Okay, but that's basically what we're wanting. That's basically a housing joint. Okay, that's pretty much what we're wanting. Okay. Up a bit more. And thanks for your subscription, guys, and please keep subscribing, and please keep your notifications on when I send some new videos through, just to make sure you are receiving the videos. And please, if you have any feedback, please, by all means, if you can pass on some feedback, just to let us know what you think about the videos, and is really greatly appreciated. So that's pretty much what we have. That's pretty much a housing joint, exactly what we want, guys. So those parts there, just take those off. And what you'll find is if you really wanted to, you can give it a very fine cut like that, but that's perfectly fine. Yep. I'll give that little one more there. All right. I think that pretty much does it. So that's basically your housing joint, guys. All right. Now, that's basically it there, guys. Okay, guys. So please, feel free to pass on some views and feedback, and it's greatly appreciated. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you, guys. Bye.